I want to share with you business loans, no credit check for a multi-member LLC. And so here's a review I want you to really think about. So if you're looking for business loans, no credit check for a multi-member LLC, number 6, you have Kiva. Our score, 8.3 over 10. So when you think about Kiva, first of all, I want you to think about a nonprofit lender. So this is actually a site that is great for crowdfunding. So when you think about crowdfunding, nobody's checking your multi-member LLC's sort of credit. Okay, this is kind of fine. So it doesn't really matter. You can actually just look. You can put forward your LLC's as sort of a profile, the business vision you have, the business model that you have. So basically, on Kiva, you can actually raise up to $15,000. So what happens here is that you're going to have a combination of business loans and sort of donation. So this is like crowdfunding. So you have to actually find a way to reward those who will donate to your fundraising. So this is totally different. This is not your traditional loan. Okay. So when you think about Kiva, and see, the thing is, Kiva, a lot of folks are actually raising a lot of cash on Kiva. As a matter of fact, last year we actually raised nearly $1 million for a constellation of clients through Kiva. So this is totally possible. It's just, it requires more work. So, but the cool thing is, if your multi-member LLC doesn't want its credit to be checked either at the business level or at the personal level, you can certainly go through Kiva. Okay. So with Kiva, the thing is that you have to understand, Kiva is a crowdfunding platform that offers microloans up to $15,000. So terms are available up to 36 months, and interest rates may be as low as 0% for business owners who apply through the Kiva website. And so borrowers can also apply through Kiva Field Partners, which vet applicants and assist with the application process. So this is kind of cool. So here are the pros and cons here. Pros: the cash flow documentation not required, no collateral requirements, no time and business requirements. Okay. What about the cons here? Well, loan amounts max out of $15,000. Loans rely on crowdfunding, and funding times are very lengthy. So if your multi-member LLC is patient, then this is totally fine. You know, you'll raise some cash, but it'll take some time. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here, to have this quick convo with you about business loans, no credit check for multi-member LLC. Number 5, we have Fund Through. Our score, 8.7 over 10. So when you think about Fund Through, I want you to think about a platform that is great for invoice factoring for a multi-member LLC. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff, but they are really great for invoice factoring. Now, one thing I want to say here is that the Fund Through will not check your credit. So it will not check your multi-member LLC, and you can actually receive up to $10 million through a Fund Through. The only thing is that you need to actually have accounts receivable. So you need to have some clients, you need to have some outstanding receivables that they can actually factor. Okay. And the thing is that the Fund Through will actually speed your funding process. The more accounts receivable you have, the faster you can receive funding. What we love about Fund Through is that they actually guarantee you will receive some kind of funding. So your multi-member LLC will receive funding. You might not receive the 100% that you want. Let's say you want to have $100,000. They might get you like 35 grand or 55 grand or 60 grand. You will get something, maybe not everything. So I want to keep your expectations like reasonable. This is important. And you have to understand also that Fund Through is traditionally a factoring agency. So you have to account for factoring rates that range from 2.5% all the way to 5%. And there could be also some additional fees. It depends on your multi-member LLC. Let me talk about the pros and cons here. The pros: well, funding speeds 97% faster than competitors when it comes to multi-member LLCs. And Fund Through offers next day funding for multi-member LLCs. There are no financing fees for multi-member LLCs. So this is really cool. What about the cons here? Well, fees apply for early invoice payments. Invoices must be less than 90 days old to qualify. And same-day funding requires an additional fee. So if your multi-member LLC wants to be actually receive funding more quickly, then you're going to have to actually you're going to have to basically consent to 1 or 3% when it comes to fees. Okay, but it is what it is. But you can get it somewhere from $500 to $10 million. So it is still worth it anyway. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about business loans, no credit check for multi-member LLCs. Number 4, we have PayPal working capital. Our score, 9/10. So this working capital from PayPal is kind of cool if you are a PayPal seller. So if your multi-member LLC has a presence on PayPal and actually does some kind of business through PayPal, then you can actually receive some funding. This is totally fine. And when we talk about PayPal funding, you are talking about $1,000 all the way to $150,000. And so if your multi-member LLC is a repeat borrower, you can receive up to $250,000. So this is totally, well, there's no credit check, they don't check anything at all. And the funding that you'll receive will be based on the transactional volume that you actually process through PayPal. And PayPal will actually look at your account to determine how much you could qualify for. Now, let me quickly go through the pros and cons here. The pros first. Well, you have a very simple application process. We love the fact that the PayPal across the board has relaxed the borrower requirements. So if you're a multi-member LLC, no matter how damaged credit, quote unquote, how damaged the credit scores of the multi-member LLC members are, you can still qualify, not a problem. And you may have same day funding because you have approved loans they were funded in minutes. And even better, there is no personal guarantee. So again, everything is based on the transactional volume that you process through PayPal, nothing else. They don't care about your social, they don't care about your personal guarantee, they don't care about your credit score, none of that. What about the cons here? Well, this funding program is only available to PayPal sellers, and the borrowing rate can be high. So even though you were approved on the same day, the rate can be really high. So you gotta be a little comfortable with the amount, because PayPal is charging anywhere from 10% all the way to 40, in some cases 50%. So this is really, really kind of high. But again, you're not going to there's no credit check, nothing at all. And but PayPal wants you to have, to qualify, you need to have a PayPal business or a Premier account for 90 days or more and process at least $15,000 in annual PayPal sales if you have a business PayPal account, or $20,000 with the Premier account. So this is kind of important. And but again, beyond that, PayPal is not checking anything. They're not really checking any score or whatever for your multi-member LLC. So this is really great. Number 3, we have American Express business loans. Our score, 9.4/10. Now, American Express business loans are different from American Express business line of credit. So it's important. The business loans are more conservative. So you're looking at the $3,500 all the way to $75,000. But hey, listen, it is still worth it. It's really interesting. And the APR will fluctuate from 7% all the way to 20%. Okay. And but this American Express business loans are great for Amex business card holders. So if your multi-member LLC, let's just say that members of your multi-member LLC if they are Amex business card holders, then they will really appreciate this funding program. Okay, this funding program will be really suitable for you guys. Now let me quickly go through the pros and cons here. So the pros: no origination fee. You can repay early with no penalty. You have reasonable borrowing rates, and Amex has great customer service. What about the cons here? Well, this funding program is only available to Amex business card holders. Okay, so your multi-member LLC must have an existing business credit card from American Express, and the business credit card must be in good standing to qualify for this funding program. So the thing here is that Amex offers its business card holders, including multi-member LLCs and single-member LLCs, small business loans with no credit check. So we're talking about small business loans here. Okay, $3,500 all the way to $7,500. That's nothing. There's nothing really gigantic here. Okay, and so this unsecured business loans range from $3,500 to $7,500 to $3,500 to $75,000. And the cool thing is you can use the cash for any business purpose, including working capital, buying inventory, consolidating debt, expanding your business, making payroll, and so on and so forth. And so the thing is that American Express business term loans are ultra convenient for Amex business card users because American Express already has all your business information. In fact, you don't even need to apply. You can just check your Amex dashboard to see if you are pre-approved for an offer. Okay, so just think about that. And so the fees, actually the percentage, the APR will range from 7% all the way to 20%, as I said before. And you have terms of 6, 12, 24, or 36 months. So maximum you can qualify for here is 3 years. And so Amex actually says that eligibility is based on at least 1 year of account history, creditworthiness, and other factors. So again, those things will depend from multi-member LLC to multi-member LLC. Number 2, you have Shopify Capital, our score, 9.6 over 10. So this actually is great. No credit check business loan for Shopify merchants. So if your multi-member LLC has a Shopify store or does anything in relation to Shopify, you could qualify for this loan with no problem. Okay. And so here are the pros and cons here. Let me quickly go through the pros and cons. So pros, you have a wide range of borrowing amounts for your multi-member LLC. You have competitive rates for multi-member LLCs. You have relaxed borrower requirements, and there is no repayment deadline for cash advances. So again, Shopify is basing everything on the transactional volume that you have. It's kind of similar to PayPal as well. Okay, so they'll look at your transactional volume, your sales volume, your sales in general to give you the loan that you need. And what about the cons for this type of funding program? It's only available to Shopify sellers in certain states. So even in the United States, Shopify hasn't rolled out yet this funding program in all the 50 states. They're still doing things gradually here. And so there is no way to apply. As a matter of fact, Shopify will reach out to qualified candidates. So if your multi-member LLC qualifies for this business loan, Shopify will reach out to you. So basically, all you have to do here is you have to pay attention to your transactional value. Why? Because through Shopify Capital, eligible businesses, including multi-member LLCs that sell using Shopify e-commerce and or Shopify POS, can take out a cash advance or loan ranging anywhere from $200 to $2 million, depending on your sales value and your business's risk profile. So this is kind of cool. And what we love about this program is that, again, they're not charging you anything. Okay. But you have to understand that there is a factor rate you have to pay attention to, because Shopify, for all intents and purposes, actually acts as a factor here. And so they're charging you anywhere from 10% to 13%. So it is what it is. And so the thing is that there is no credit check or requirements as to revenue or time in business. You don't even need to have been selling with Shopify you just need to be selling with them for at least 90 days and demonstrate consistent sales. Okay, so if you could do this, you are good to go. And boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm having a conversation with you about business loans, no credit check for multi-member LLCs. Number 1, Square Capital. Our score, 9.7 over 10. So when you think about Square Capital, I want you to think about a similar loan as with Shopify. So this is the best no credit check business loan for Square merchants. So if your multi-member LLC is a Square merchant, then you will actually qualify for this loan. So we're talking about $300 all the way to $250,000. Okay. So here are the pros and cons of this loan here. So pros, you have good borrowing rates. You have relaxed borrower requirements for your multi-member LLC. The process is really fast and convenient, and there is no collateral required for loans under $75,000 to $100,000. So this is what it is. What about the cons here? Well, this funding program, similar to a Shopify or a PayPal, is only available to Square sellers. So your multi-member LLC must be actually doing business on Square. So you're either using Square POS or doing something with Square. There has to be a relationship with Square. And so The thing is that you cannot apply for offers, you can only receive them. So Shopify will let you know, not Shopify, Square will let you know basically if you qualify. Okay, so it's one of those things where you just have to sit, just do your thing, actually sell, and basically the like your sales volume or your transactional volume is algorithmically analyzed, and Square will get back to you. So this is really important. So if your multi-member LLC uses Square POS to sell, you could be eligible for a Square Capital loan. So this short-term loans are similar to merchant cash advances, as your Square loan is repaid automatically as a percentage of your daily credit card sales. Okay, this no credit check loans are easy to access for Square sellers, and with minimal eligibility requirements and hands-off repayments, you don't even need to apply for this loan at all. Square will reach out to you with an offer if you are eligible. So think about it. In terms of the APR here, you're looking at 10% all the way to 16%, which is really competitive when you really think about it. And the maximum term is 18 months. And you can borrow from 300 all the way to $250,000. So to qualify, okay, you need to process at least $10,000 a year with Square, and you really need, like, Square will look at the health of your Square accounts, including whether you have a good mix of new and returning customers, and again, you process at least $10,000 a year. So pretty decent. Let me quickly give you an overview before we close to this conversation. So the thing is that when you talk about business loans, no credit check for multi-member LLCs, the takeaway here is that you have to understand. So it's all about your sales. If a lender is not checking your credit, if a lender is not doing anything, the lender has to pay attention to your financial profile, right? So it's a lot easier if you process some of the volume with the platform where you're getting the loan, like Shopify, like Square, or like PayPal. If you don't have that, some lenders will want you to connect your business accounting software to their system so they can see how much you're making. Because your revenue is a good indicator of your ability to repay the loan, right? So that's why it's either you pay attention to the credit check or you pay attention to the revenue check. We call it revenue check. So no credit check, but you have a revenue check for your multi-member LLCs. So as you can see in today's conversation, I just assured you that you have all kinds of lenders. You have a nonprofit lenders such as Kiva. You have other MCs such as Fund Through, for example. But you always have the option to actually see exactly how much you can qualify for. So that's the bottom line. You have the opportunity to see how much you qualify for. And don't forget that you always have also crowdfunding. So there are alternatives to no credit check business loans. So if you're looking for no credit check business loan for your multi-member LLC, just think about the alternatives. You have crowdfunding. Yeah, you can basically raise money through crowdfunding platforms such as Kiva. Kiva. You have Indiegogo. You have so you have a lot of them out there. And you're a Kickstarter, by the way. Okay, and so you're able to actually raise funds and with no credit check. Especially if your multi-member LLC has members with less than stellar credit, and you're trying to preserve your ability to get funding, this is a great possibility. So those are things you want to think about, and you want to think about it as soon as possible, because the bottom line here is you want to get the funds that you need. Now, the only thing is when you go to crowdfunding or alternative outlets, you're not going to raise as much money as you would if you were to go through the traditional method. Okay, so it is really something to really keep in mind as you are exploring other ways to raise funds there. So this is really important. Before I recap to this conversation, I want to share with you our loan evaluation approach. So we have a method on this show when it comes to evaluating, categorizing, and listing business loans, no credit check for multi-member LLCs. Please check this out. All right, let's quickly recap here. Number one, we have Square Capital, our score, 9.7 over 10. Number two, we have Shopify Capital, 9.6 over 10. Number three, we have American Express, 9.4 over 10. Number four, we have PayPal, 9 over 10. Number five, we have Fund Through, 8.7 over 10. Number six, we have Kiva, our score, 8.3 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.